Hey everybody, good morning.
Good morning.
My first time to Maine. Thanks for having me out here. Really, this guy's got awesome hair, man. I'm working on my hair. I gotta get some tips for this guy. Thanks for having me out here. My first time to Maine, the state of Maine. Had a great time leaving in about, I don't even know, a few minutes to go catch a plane. What am I doing here in Maine? Well, this is one of my shots. This is Rhoda the diving dachshund, who is one of my favorite dogs I've ever met. And she's also one of the stars of my book called Underwater Dogs. What's an underwater dog photographer doing in a social media breakfast? Well, certainly, if anybody's seen this picture before, you probably have seen it on social media. Two things changed my life in the last year and a half. Number one, dogs is by far the number one thing that changed my life. I'll give you my quick background so you guys know exactly what it is I do and kind of where I came from. Originally from the state of Illinois, moved out to California to pursue being a movie director. Got into Sony Picture Studios after going to film school and loved it there. Decided, no, maybe I'm not going to be a movie director, but I really liked advertising. So I was doing advertising for Sony Pictures, advertising for theatrical releases. So James Bond, Spider-Man, all kinds of cool stuff. Having a great time. But then I met some baby cats. I know, twist. The plot thickens. Met some baby cats that were about, I guess, 5, 6 weeks old. And there was a bunch of cats that were living on the Sony Studios lot in Culver City, California. And these were a feral cat population. And they were sort of being looked after by some of my friends that were employees at Sony. Well, occasionally you have new cats that come into the studio lot, and then you're going to have some baby cats. Well, found some baby cats one day, and my friends that were helping these cats already had way too many cats. I'm talking like, one of my friends had 60 cats. I feel like that might be too many cats. I'm not an expert on cats. I feel like 60 might be too many. So Erica, I think 60 might be too many cats. I don't know for sure, but anyways, she's like, well, there's more kittens. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have to bring them home. I said, maybe not. Maybe not bring more cats home. So I said, let me just take some pictures of these baby cats, and we'll see if we can get them adopted. And that was kind of my first taste of social media and the power of the internet and how it can result in something really positive. Well, the pictures, we snuck the cats into some executive's office at Sony when he was out to lunch. You probably wondered later why his furniture was all scratched up. And took these pictures, all the kittens got adopted, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. Using social media at the time, this is in 2007, just the power of the internet, the pictures all of a sudden moved pretty quickly, and the cats were adopted by the next day. A few weeks later, we found some more baby cats. Surprise, surprise. Did the same thing, got all the kittens adopted. Pretty awesome. So I started volunteering at the West LA Animal Shelter in California and photographing dogs and cats to help them find homes through better pictures. Again, embracing social media and marketing to help make a positive difference. That was going really well. And one day somebody said, hey, can I hire you to photograph my dog? I said, sure. So all of a sudden I was a pet photographer. So that began in 2007 as a part-time gig. I decided to go full-time with that dream of mine in 2009. So from 2009 to 2012, things were, I was having a great time, but I gotta tell you, I couldn't always pay the rent. Things were getting a little tricky. But that's okay. I had my dream job, but I couldn't necessarily pay my bills or pay my rent. Then I met a dog called Buster. This is actually Rocco. But I met a dog called Buster, who's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. I was doing an on-land photo shoot with him in California. And it was supposed to be just a photo shoot in his backyard, telling his story, showing his personality through a series of photographs. Buster decided he would rather jump in the pool, just like Rocco's doing right here. Now I have Buster's tattoo on my arm forever and ever and ever. He's the original underwater dog. He was jumping in the pool. As I watched him do that, I thought, wait a second, maybe there's something here to this. And the owner was saying, oh no, Buster's all wet. I wanted dry shots of him, and she was all upset. I said, Jane, hold on a minute. And so I left, I bought a little point and shoot underwater camera, came back, and did some snapshots of Buster, which was the beginning of the series of underwater dogs. Pictures like you're seeing right here. So I did that initial series, and I thought, wow, this is really fascinating. I got obsessed with the connection between dogs and water. Don't let me go off on a tangent. I know we got to talk about social media here. But just so you guys know where I'm coming from. I got really fascinated with the emotion of dogs, especially in the reaction to the water and the history of that. So I did this series. I spent the last couple $1,000s I had available on a credit card to buy an underwater camera housing. All my friends said, you should photograph weddings, you should photograph weddings, you should photograph weddings. I said, I'm not a wedding photographer, so I spent the last money that I had to buy an underwater housing to take shots like this one. Not knowing what would happen in this one. I thought I said something funny. This is my friend Bardo, 1 year old lab. I was taking a couple of years ago. So I had no idea, what the result of these photos was going to be. I just said, you know what, I'm going to go take these photos because I have to, period. Fortunately, things have worked out, so now I can afford to pay my rent, which is good. My parents are less worried about me. I'm 32, but at 32, I hope I can start to pay my rent by myself. So did this initial series of photographs, continued to work on it, and just go about my business. Posted some of these shots online. On my Facebook page, at the time I had about 3,000 or 4,000 people following me on Facebook, which I thought was fantastic, and I've worked really hard to achieve that many people following me. I just started Twitter. I just started Pinterest. I just started a couple of these different avenues within social media. Posted the shots also on my website. A few people had seen them, but not really too many people. Going about my business February 9th of 2012. I guess it was February 9th, 2012. These pictures were already living online in a few places, but I had posted them in a couple of different places just to set them up. But had no idea what would happen on February 10th. Sometime between the evening of February 9th and the morning of February 10th, Reddit picked up one of my shots of two dogs looking at a tennis ball underwater, and it rose to the top of Reddit quickly. Because of that, all these other blogs started to pick it up. All these different avenues within social media started to pick it up. By the morning of February 10th, several hundred million people had seen the shots. And now it's close to 600 million people that have seen the shots in a matter of, a few months. So my phone starts ringing at 3 a.m. And I'm like, what's going on here? People from Europe calling me, wanting to license the pictures and wanting to do interviews. I'm on the phone in the morning with CNN. On the other line is Good Morning America. I told CNN, hold on a minute. I got a call on the other line. I think it's Good Morning America. And it was a weird situation to be in. So I guess the term viral is how I can kind of contribute to this breakfast. Also at the end of this, I'm happy to answer your questions if you guys have any questions. But the power of the internet is one of the reasons why I'm here. If we didn't have the internet the way it is, if we didn't have social media, I would have been doing these pictures and nobody would have seen them. They would have just been at my house, maybe in a frame or not, or on my computer or on a hard drive. So because of social media and the power of that, I'm like, I couldn't even imagine in a million years something like this could have happened. I mean, people say, hey, what's your dream for your photography? I said, I just wanted to tell my story. I want to take the pictures that I'd like to take and hopefully pay the rent. But all of a sudden, I wake up in the morning and I've got all this attention. I've got money being deposited in my bank account. I had a print shop online that had sold approximately 0 prints so far. I woke up with thousands of dollars just in my account from people buying prints from all over the world, all over the place, different countries. And I thought, what am I going to do about this? I gotta think fast. My website crashed immediately. I didn't even know, and this is, I gotta tell you that I did the best that I could, I think, at the time, but looking back, things could have been way, way better for me. I went from 4,000 Facebook fans to 163,000 Facebook fans in a matter of a few months. Right now I'm like 163,000, but I went from 4,000 to 100,000 in probably 2 weeks. So, bam. And it would have been, had I known what was going on with the amount of attention on my website. I hosted GoDaddy, I have a standard hosting account, I don't have my own server. No idea, I'm used to getting 10,